Hey, what is going on, everybody? Aaron here from Break the Internet, and welcome back to another video today on the channel. Today, what I have for you guys is something completely different and something that I could possibly make into a series if you, watching this video, find it interesting and want to see some more. So, I'm going to be starting interviews with different Snapchat influencers, different Snapchatters that are on the platform. So, number one, I'm going to be talking about, of course, just asking them about themselves, what they do on Snapchat, and just a little bit further into how they use the application. And then I'm going to switch on over because I'm a Snapchat help tip channel. I'm going to ask them a little bit about how they got to where they are, as well as what they think are some of the best tips that you guys should know about either growing a following, using the app, and all that good stuff. So anyway, guys, today we're starting it off with Taylor Nikolai, and I'm going to have his code right there. So boom, add him right now. Hurry, do it right now. Taylor.Nikolai if you want to use the name, but the snap code is right here. So that's probably the easiest way to do it. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoy. Let's get right into it.
Nikolai, that's how you spell Nikolai.
Alright, what's up guys, Aaron here from Break the Internet, and welcome to this video that's a little bit different than a lot of my other ones, but hopefully I want to make this a brand new series on here, starting with my friend here, Taylor Nikolai. You may know his face from Snapchat or from a lot of other publications on the internet, so I just wanted to open it up to you for however long you'd like. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, just like kind of like a brief overview.
First off, did you call me Nikolai? Because that's
Nikolai?
wrong. It's like nickel, like there's a nickel in your eye. Like there's a nickel in your eye. Nikolai. And then
okay, I'm
yeah,
very sorry.
Exactly.
Taylor Nikolai, let's go.
So I am a Snapchatter. I do a lot of things on the internet, but right now I really like to focus on Snapchat. I do a lot of zany, kind of silly stuff on the platform. Most days I tell a joke that I heard to start the day, and then the rest of it is kind of just showing a story of what's going on in my life. But it's not like super long. I like to keep mine kind of concise so that people actually watch it. I find that it's a big problem with a lot of Snapchatters, especially YouTubers and Viners. They get on Snapchat and they do, 300 seconds of stuff that you don't really care about. So I like to kind of keep it concise and watchable.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Anyway, so through my YouTube channel, those of you who are watching, and I'm sure you've seen at least a couple of my videos with the Snapchat tips, I'm really known for the Snapchat tips, tricks, updates, and everything you need to know about Snapchat. So I'm going to ask you a few questions that, of course, about you and then what you've done on Snapchat, all that good stuff. But I'm also, towards the end, I'm going to, for the people that are watching, kind of talk about things involving how you've grown or just tips from you about how other people should grow their audience, if that makes any sense. So first question.
That doesn't make any sense.
No sense at all.
No.
This is horrible. Anyway, so this is probably a question that you've gotten 6 billion times. When did you start Snapchat, and what was your original purpose for it? I mean, I know you do a lot of stuff with social media, so probably a little bit different than either mine, because I started with basically not knowing how to do it and posting a lot of random selfies. So you probably was a little bit different, but I want to hear what how you started.
So I guess I can start from even before I got Snapchat. I think the thing we all originally thought about Snapchat was that it was to send your private parts to other people. And that was what the app was created for. Obviously, that's not the initial intention of making Snapchat, but that was kind of the public perception. And people like me, and I'm sure everybody, that's why we were hesitant to get on it in the first place. But it started to get more and more popular, and I downloaded the app. And this was before stories existed, so I would just send snaps of myself or what I was doing to my friends. Usually just one snap and, just making a silly face and all that kind of stuff. Then stories became a thing, and I originally started posting silly, ironic jokes, where I would say like really, really dumb, like knock jokes, kind of making fun of myself. The problem is that people really liked those jokes. I don't like jokes. But there's this thing where if you're silly enough and do something regular enough, it becomes part of people's lives. And all of a sudden, I'm 6 months in, and thousands of people are watching my stories every day, which are just me saying something stupid on the video. At this point, I kind of really realized the power of the platform. And I started getting more promotions, started doing press about Snapchat, and suddenly this ball started rolling, and tens of thousands of people started watching my stuff. I kind of expanded on just doing the daily joke thing, and I did start doing stories about what I was doing that day, and doing interesting things on Snapchat that I didn't think other people were doing. And then from that, I started doing more Snapchat accounts because I figured, if this is something that people enjoy, I know that from my experience working on social media, that I can make all these different kinds of accounts that people would also like to enjoy. So now I have various Snapchat accounts that I do different things on. And I have my personal account that is obviously, my biggest focus and like why I'm here talking to you. But I also have like various other accounts that I do things like my account WTF Facts, which you have graciously been the host on before, where it's just 3 facts every day. And it's so simple and so short, but it's something that people can know that they can watch every day, and it becomes part of their lives. And what I like to do is be part of people's lives because that makes me happy, and hopefully it makes them happy. That's all I really care about in the long term.
As far as social
I think
media,
I answered.
yeah, I mean, like I feel
answered your
it's the
question.
exact same thing with me. It's just like the biggest part of really Snapchat social media is the interaction with everybody. So I'm sure you know all about that. Interaction is probably one of the best things that you can do. I mean, just replying to comments and replying to snaps. People get so excited sometimes, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I've gotten some snaps asking are you friends with Aaron FPS? I love him so much. So yeah, I try to open every snap that's sent to me, but it's sometimes hard because some days I'll receive 5 to 10,000 snaps in a day, and it just becomes impossible.
Oh yeah.
Impossible to open, and of course to respond to every single one. If there is something that really resonates with me, I'll be sure to respond to it. But so many people sent to all, and don't do that. Don't do that.
It's not, no. All right, so going to the next question. When did you start to see a big part of your growth on Snapchat? Was it through like cross promoting from your other like Twitter account, or was it doing collabs with people? What was like that first push into your like, hey, like a lot of people are liking my stuff?
So, like I mentioned, I started to see some traction with my humorous stories, and if you know who I am and like what I do, I have millions of followers on Twitter, doing social media for the last like half a decade. So once I started to see traction and the snap code became a thing, which be sure to add by snap code somewhere on the screen. I posted that on Twitter, promoted that within my network of millions of followers, and that gave me my first really big initial lift outside of organic growth. From there, I was able to have enough views that I could comfortably ask larger Snapchatters and influencers if they would like to collab. And from there, I was able to grow more. From there, I was able to get enough, I was going to say notoriety, but kind of like awareness to get some press. So from there, I was able to get on all sorts of initial, these are the people you need to add on Snapchat lists, on all sorts of
11-second
things.
snap code, yeah.
Yeah. So and then and outside of that, just like even like Forbes and Tech Insider, Business Insider has named me on various lists, and those kind of things increased my awareness. And then from there, I was able to get onto even another level where Wired magazine named me one of the next media stars, because of my Snapchat. And it just kind of, it snowballs, but it only snowballs if you work hard and do everything that you know can help awareness. And it really comes down to just being consistent.
Oh yeah. And that's what a lot of apps that I try to find myself, or I try to post as regularly as Snapchat as possible, but I also don't do it just to do it. It also has to have that kind of content and stuff. So I guess you touched on it a little bit. Brands. I know we've worked with a lot of brands. Couple questions. What was the first brand that you worked with? And then what was your favorite like collaboration that you did with a brand, or like a promotion, whatever?
So I actually have not worked with a lot of brands out of choice, because I am very aware of how how doing advertising on a social media platform can kind of put off followers. So I try to only do brand work that I know inspires me, fits with what I'm doing, fits my voice, and is something that I know my fans will enjoy. So the first and probably my favorite brand work that I did was through Universal for the movie The Visit. If you know anything about me, if you watch my stories, you know that I'm a big horror fan of horror films and scary movies. So The Visit was the first scary movie that I was paid to go to. I had gone out of my way to not watch any trailers or anything about that movie before the day that I was supposed to do the Snapchat story. So I watched the trailer, and I talked to my followers on my Snapchat about what I thought this movie was going to be and how dumb I thought it might be. Because it was one of those things where it was like, I didn't understand how these kids could be in this house with their grandparents, and like the joke I kept kind of making was, why don't they just go on the internet? Like the whole movie was supposed to be, obviously in the movie you learn that there's no Wi-Fi in the house, whatever. But I like to make fun of things. I like to make fun of myself. And so that really fit. And it was really cool because I got to go to the movie later. And like they had an entire row devoted to me. So like part of my story was like, I can't believe that I'm famous enough for this to be part of my life. I've been invited to go on, dozens of red carpets, and I'm always kind of very self-aware about the fact that I can't believe that I'm here. I'm just some guy. And it really comes down to just being honest with yourself. Like, I understand that I'm not a big celebrity or anything like that. So I'm very blessed to be in all sorts of these types of situations.
And going to like the red carpet events, have you ever been recognized as the Snapchat guy?
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. No? Oh no. That's
Here's the thing about Snapchat is that it's still so new that it's not known or understood yet by the mainstream media. And because of that, I had to have people with my name next to me on every red carpet that I've pretty much been on, because the photographers didn't know who I was or anything like that. Granted, this might happen sometime soon, but Snapchat is still a pretty closed platform. And because of that, if you know who I am, it's like we're actually
you're
just
in that like community almost.
Right. It's like Apple computers, it's a closed circuit thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the red carpet events, going to different ones. For me, I've always making YouTube videos and stuff. It's really cool to actually go to events and meet people that you've been talking to either over Twitter or over actually meet them in person. So I know you met a lot of Snapchatters, Opera Americano. I think Tristan Tales was in the picture with you guys. How is it going from making or doing collabs with them, or just knowing them online? How is it actually meeting them in person?
So the thing is that if you're in any sort of social media community, you're already talking to them every day. So I am in various communities, Viners, YouTubers, and of course Snapchatters, and I'm actually talking to these people on Facebook chat every day. Granted, it's not in person. So the funniest thing in my experience, and Cyrene might get mad at me. I'm sorry, Cyrene, I have to call you out. But I talk to Cyrene every day, and when I first met her in person, the first thing she said to me was, "Oh, you're not as fat as in person." And that's the kind of thing that I love. Is you talk to people through
man.
digital communications all the time, but there's that thing about meeting in person that like just takes it to the next level. And of course, I've met every single one of the big Snapchatters in person, and it always just kind of clicks right away because you're already talking.
Yeah.
And that makes it so much easier to like be friends in real life outside of just Facebook chat. It's never awkward. Snapchatters specifically, Snapchat influencers specifically, are very gregarious, energetic people. And it makes it easy to be friends right away in real life.
Yeah. So talking about the events, another question revolving around those. Coolest thing to come out of Snapchat that you've either been sent to, went to, been a part of? I know you were talking about the movie theater thing, but other than that?
My favorite thing that I've kind of been involved with because of my Snapchat was probably when I was invited to the WB Museum tour, and I got to do things like put on a astronaut suit and pretend like I'm in Gravity, the movie, and then I got to pretend I'm Harry Potter and all this stuff. The coolest thing was actually, because I was there to do it, they let me bud in front of the line, and I felt really bad about it at the time, but like that was the first time that I was like, this is really cool, because I got to butt in front of like the 2-hour line to do all these kinds of things. That was probably my favorite experience that I was able to actually like have because I was invited because of my Snapchat.
And they're like, yeah, who's this guy? The Snapchat guy just cut in front of all of us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I learned a little bit about you. I said at the beginning, I wanted to kind of transition into channels really big on how to grow your following, how to do different things on Snapchat. What kind of content do you think gets, for you personally, what kind of content do you think gets the best response and that people want to keep seeing more of? I know you do a lot of like your in-life stuff, but what do you think works the best?
So my daily joke routine is something that I'm constantly getting consistent reactions to, and obviously that's because it is a daily thing that I do. Those are the kind of things that, because it's so consistent and it becomes part of people's lives, that I get the longest messages about how people are depressed or in the hospital or anything like that, and they say things like, and it really affects me in a pretty big way. I get messages that tell me that I'm the only thing that they laughed at that day, and it really makes me realize the effect that I have on people, and makes me want to continue doing it. So that's the biggest, thing that I could say that I get the most consistent reaction from. If I'm doing something like going to an event, I always have lots of messages that are like, I'm so proud of you. Like, I've been following you for so long. I'm so happy that you're getting these big opportunities. That's a really cool thing. And then sometimes I'll go out of my way to make kind of a movie using, maybe action figures that I have at my home in Minnesota. Or, for instance, my roommate and I had to do laundry one time. So I kind of made a movie out of it about how we were doing laundry. And people love that kind of stuff because it's something that they don't see on Snapchat. So many people on Snapchat are doing it wrong. They're and I say wrong confidently because I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers and a lot of Viners doing very non-contextual stories, meaning that it's 200 to 300 seconds of
Different stuff.
mundane stuff. Them in their car, singing along to music. Stuff like that isn't entertaining to watch. The key to making good social media content is to make stuff that you would want to watch. And if you don't want to watch someone singing to their camera, don't do that. Don't do driving. Don't do things in your car and don't sing at the camera. People don't really like it. And like that's a critical bit of advice is don't do those two things.
Okay. Well, I guess that kind of, brings me to the last question. I don't know if you have a different tip, but I know Snapchat and really any kind of social media, it's always a grind to the top. You're always going to have to be being consistent about it, being optimistic of growing. But if you could give just one, golden magical tip for somebody that's looking to grow their either YouTube channel or Snapchat channel, whatever it may be, a golden tip. I know you kind of said one, but if you had another one, what would it be?
So obviously on any social media platform, if you're going to want to grow the quickest way is to collaborate with people who are similar size or bigger, or even smaller if it's an audience that you know is engaged. So collaboration is the most obvious answer to that. The most unobvious answer would be to Google search things like Facebook friends, because there's actually a lot of different communities on the internet that you can post your username and your Snapchat code, and there are a lot of little pockets of communities. The biggest pocket that I know of is on Reddit. So reddit.com/r/Snapchat, you can post your username and you'll start to get ads immediately because it's a community as of right now. I think it's over 10,000 people, and it's people who want to add more people. And then obviously if you're adding all the people on that subreddit, they're going to add you back because it's people who desire more people to watch them, and that reciprocity value is there, value proposition is there, and you can begin to grow that way. Once you start to grow that way, and obviously if you're engaging with the people who add you back and responding when people do all this kind of thing, it starts to snowball. And then once you start to, let's say you've got 100 people suddenly watching your stuff, or maybe 100 is a little low right now, maybe it's 250. Then all of a sudden you could put out something, even on Twitter, you could search for keywords like 250 people viewed my Snap today. And you could reach out to that person and say, hey, I don't know you and you don't know me, but I saw you have 250 people viewing your Snap. I'd love to collaborate with you. And that might be off-putting, but it's something you have to try. You have to reach out to people if you want to grow on the platform. So as long as you're not making people feel uncomfortable, be friendly. And the biggest thing about being friendly is that good things happen.
Yeah. I completely agree. That's why we're doing this interview right now, is because it started to shoot you an email.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And first interview, so it's a little bit different from me, but I'm going to go ahead and open a floor before we end this. I'm just going to go ahead and open the floor up to you to give yourself any shout outs, any projects you're working on that you want people to know about. It's all you.
So a lot of my big, exciting projects I can't talk about, but keep up with me because I promise you there's going to be at least 2 big projects I follow through with this year that have happened because of my Snapchat that are going to be really exciting. I would love if you added me on Snapchat. It's Taylor.Nikolai. Don't forget the dot. And then the other Snapchat account that I'm the regular host of that I consistently do a Monday through Friday show is WTF Facts. Other than that, all my other Snapchat accounts are about to do something really big soon, but I can't talk about that either. Just add me, Taylor.Nikolai, on Snapchat, and you'll see what I'm doing. But it's going to be really exciting.
We'll have it on screen. Have a snap code, Twitter, all that stuff on screen, so you can do that whenever you like. The viewers, talking to the viewers. But thank you, Taylor.Nikolai, for jumping on here with the interview.
Do you want to sing my song? I don't know if you know the song. It goes, Nikolai, that's how you spell Nikolai.
Well, I guess I'll put that as like the intro. It'll be the intro song. All right, man. Once again, thank you so much for coming on the interview.
Absolutely.
If you have anything else to say?
I like coffee.
All right, guys. Remember, I'm Aaron from Break the Internet, your number one stop shop for everything you need to know about Snapchat, tips, tricks, updates, and all that good stuff. Of course, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.